Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm the plug. Yup.
Plug deal with Kinfolk The Plug.
Delvan Othello in the building.
We got a very special guest today, CEO Black Rebel Music, legendary rapper of the West Coast Techniec.
What's good? What's good?
Good, family.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
chilling, man. So, how you been?
Man, one day at a time, like the rest of the world.
Heard that shit.
You know how it's going right now, man. You know, it's been a movie, but
Right.
we here, you know, so we got to continue moving forward, you know.
Yeah, so is Cali like shut down still?
I mean, I don't know, man. I haven't seen it, you know. People gonna do what they gonna do, man.
Right. Yeah,
You
bro.
know,
In Texas,
you can't tell grown folks to go stay in their house and stay in their room.
Right. They
People
gonna do what they
what
want.
they do, you know.
right. So, where did it start for you in the music? Who discovered you and all that? Like before you got with LBC Crew, what was you doing?
Okay, so for us to go in that conversation, we got to take it back to let's say about 92, 93. You know, I couldn't be no more than like 6th, 7th grade or something like that, right? So, you know, we grew up. I'm an 80s baby, man. We was like first generation real hip hop babies, you know. So we literally grew up on hip hop, you know what I mean? So I don't even think it was nothing that I had to learn. I feel like it was something that was just, you know, like so many of us from the 80s and the 90s, we grew up hip hop. It just was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Probably, you know, your granny was probably playing gospel, you know, or, you know, something old school, some Frankie Beverly or something like that. Or, you know, they came from those other eras. So by the time we got there, it was the samples. It was like the real hip hop, the Adidas and, you know, the fat laces and, you know, big buckles, Levi's, Latigras, Sergio Tacchini, just real hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's just what it was. So, I mean, you know, not to be long winded on that, I just wanted to set that picture up. So, you know, when you mentioned like discovered and this and that, like we literally came up where, you know, hip hop really kind of found us, and we just took everything that we were seeing and started putting it into words. So I got to credit my grandmother because she made sure that I know how to read and write at a very, I guess literacy was a big deal to her. You know what I'm saying? So she had me reading Bibles and everything as a shorty. You know what I mean? And so I started to develop a fascination with words and rhyming words, you know what I mean? So anyhow, let's fast forward 95. By this time, I just hit high school. Now we in a different arena. You know, this is pre-internet, social, all this technology we operating on right now. So if a dude really wanted to be somebody, they had to be talking about you in other high schools. You had to get to that point. You know what I mean? So
Before you get into the story, I hate to cut you off.
Because
good. That you brought up high school, I had a rapper reach out to me named King Harris. I don't know if you know who King is. He's like J-Rock's cousin. And he said something like you inspired him in high school. You was at Poly and you battled some dude named LB Jordan.
Wow. I mean, you know, the names not catching me, you know, it's an everyday thing. You know, dudes probably didn't change their name 2-3 times since then, you know.
You used to kick it with a group called the Dynamics.
Dynamic Certified, yes, sir. That's official right there.
Right. So he told
me. So he was
me,
definitely there.
Like I said, his name King Harris. He said you are one of his biggest inspirations in the West Coast. So
hey man, tell a salute, King Harris, because he know that's day one right there. You know, we came from a different era. I love that era because we really had to get our respect. You know what I mean? And it went from like that to now, like you get a record deal, then you come back and you that guy. We had none of that. You know what I mean? We just had to be those guys. Either you was those guys or you was gonna get beat up or something, pushed off the scene, you know. So the rapping was that was the sport. it became sport. You know, it was just something that was cool to do. And that fell into the hands of my uncle, Big C Style. From there to Snoop Dogg, and you know, something that Snoop liked, that you know, he caught his ear, and he picked me out of the pack. So you know, that was a blessing. From there, you know, that was a mark that I could say that, you know, I was being so young. You know, a lot of us, as we have dreams and aspirations as children. I don't think I ever really dreamed to be like no superstar celebrity or nothing like that, but just in love with the art of hip hop, you know, and the art of MCing. But to manifest those things into a reality that you like, yo, wow, like that was kind of cool. Like when you look back at it, it changed the course of how I see life forever. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it a pretty unique journey. But just taking it back, I wanted to set that bar to let you know, like, yo, I was actually a kid. So I had to, you know, when I got into hip hop, it was something that we was just doing. We wasn't looking at it for anything beyond that point. We was just living, you know what I'm saying? And living fast, I must say, I gotta add this because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think me or none of my peers seen life past 21. You know what I mean? So we lived in that moment. You know, with guys in our generation, I mean, from high school on up, dying, going to the, you know, YA and all of that. So, you know, to be able to navigate through that, I would say that the hip hop element of it definitely saved me from a lot of nonsense.
So who was your favorite rappers?
Off the top, soon as you said that, AZ.
AZ?
I think AZ is a genius, man. With the words.
From New York?
From New York?
AZ, bro.
Crazy.
That's crazy, because that's what I was actually going to ask. Was there a particular song that you heard, or was it somebody on your block that could rap? What was it that was like, this is the shit that I want to do? You know what I mean?
Like I said, you know, we definitely kind of grew up with it, so we was already putting the rhymes together. I would say that Snoop Dogg had me taking it more serious. Like, you know, this man was actually, you know, at this particular time, at least like maybe 7-8 million records sold in, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't even understand the significance of that, you know what I'm saying, at that time. So to see that and see that, you know, damn, I could actually feed my family off of this, you know, I think that naturally made me take it a little more serious, because we was never getting younger. So understanding that you're getting older and understanding that, damn, you know, I could go over here and punch in this clock, or I could sit in here and write my ass off all night, you know what I'm saying? And hope that, you know, and see where this land, you know. So I can say, you know, proudly, man, I was able to, you know, pretty much feed myself and take care of myself off of music for a very long time. And but not to the magnitude that I probably, you know, as my celebrity side would have wanted to. But, you know, the fact that we was able to still make it through is a blessing. You know what I mean? Not everybody, you know, is able to survive off of music. It's a tough sport to survive in, you know what I'm saying?
So back to this AZ thing.
Right.
Like I'm like, hold on.
Hey,
like,
I know I threw you for a cold loop with that one,
like,
huh?
now that I listen to your music, I can see it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, AZ is a beast, but like I would never thought that was your inspiration like that, because he's a hard.
But you know what is so crazy is, right, I zone out to AZ, but off the rip, I can't quote, you know what I mean, off the rip. Like if I hear it, I'm gonna be able to but off the rip, I can't quote it. But what I'm gonna add to that is I'm inspired by the influencers. Like, you two look like y'all really be on some hip hop shit, bro. You can listen to artists and hear what they've been listening to or where their influence come from.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm inspired by the influencers.
Right.
Okay,
You dig what I'm saying? like, and maybe that just comes from being in hip hop such an early age. And someone brought this to my attention, like, yo, bro, you like the youngest dude ever came out of your city and actually made it to a national platform as far as just being visible in the market. And I'm like, for a long time, I never thought of it like that. But over the years, you know what I mean? I didn't seen the same show 2 or 3 times. And I'd be like, oh, yo, he picked, that's old boy. That's, oh, I hear Outkast, or I hear, you know, I hear Jay-Z, or I hear Nipsey, or I hear, like, you hear the influence that. So I believe that AZ style was an influential style to the East Coast in a way that they put their words together and like told those stories, you know, with the wordplay. Then you got Nas, not saying that Nas is beneath AZ, but then you got Nas who just like, yo, I can take this and I'm gonna polish it. I can make it look so fly and beautiful and present it to the world. You see what I'm saying? So naturally, him being the total package, you know what I'm saying? And ready to go ahead and be the whole model, the poster child for the QB and all that, he was able to take it beyond. But AZ, I think, was definitely an influential guy.
Favorite
with
AZ
the likes
album?
of like the Ghostface Killers. Like, it's a lot of East Coast dudes that's crazy with the wordplay. Outside of that, I'm gonna throw you for another loop. I'm gonna go from that extreme to, you know, hearing Mac Dre, Old Too Short.
Bay Area.
You know what I'm saying? Be Legit is like my top out of the Bay. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a big fan of Be Legit too. People sleep on him.
yeah, man, I'm with the influencers of the ones that, you know, like, yo, this is really this dude right here. Like, he didn't have to learn that. Like, that's exactly who he is. You know what I'm saying? I love that.
You always got your rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean? So that's usually the type of
that part. Those are the ones who I'm inspired by. You know what I'm saying? Rakims, all of those dudes. You know what I mean? But it's such a wide list, bro. I was coming up under everything, bro. From Master Ace to 3 Times Dope. Like, you know, then I go boot camp click. Like, I was a boot camp click head, you know what I mean? I love their roster, all of the different, you know, styles and personalities that was in that crew. So I'm kind of all over the place, man.
I'm actually trying to get Rock from Helter Skelter on this show.
Word.
Yeah,
Big
so,
up to them dudes, man.
Rapper to me, so I'm trying to definitely get him on the show. So where did it start with you and the LBC crew then?
LBC Crew was pretty like kind of like an all-star team, dreamt up by Big C Style and Snoop Dogg, where, you know, they handpicked what they felt to be the dopest at that time out of, you know, every part of the city. And they put them together. You know, the beauty of coming up in that era, man, I ain't gonna front, bro. It's like, it was like gladiator school. Like, you really had to get the part, you know. We'd come in the studio, it'd be like 20, 30 guys around the studio writing verses, hoping that, you know, it get on, you know. And the way that was, it's like, yo, I'm looking at the comp around. It's like, yo, I gotta do something, man. I'm the kid in here. You know what I'm saying? So, it might be 3 spots on the song. You got 5, 6 verses that got laid. You know, to be able to make that cut was like, okay, you on to something.
So,
you know?
The original.
So that's how the LBC crew came about. The dopest that they, you know, they put that together. All of the styles were different. Everyone had their own unique personality. I think that's what made the LBC crew so dope.
So, and the original members was you, C Style, and Badazz, right?
Correct. Been doing research. Huh?
Well, I was always wondering, like, was Trey D in the group, or was he like just a guest appearance on some of y'all songs?
Well, to answer that, you know, it was LBC crew featuring Trey D and South Central. Okay. If you look at the original like albums and tapes, because those were flagship solo artists, you know. Me, myself, Lil C Style, and Badazz was the LBC crew group. So, I mean, all of us was LBC crew, you know what I mean? It was what it was. But as far as like the actual group, it was me, Lil C Style, and Badazz. And then we had the compilation that we was working on. Mind you, that was a real kind of like turbulent time just in hip hop in the world. 95, 96, you know, you got Tupac and you know, how that polarized the whole scene, you know what I mean? So then you also got to realize within 9 months of him being released, you know, he was gone. You know what I mean? So then hip hop was turned upside down completely.
True.
You know what I mean? But in the midst of that storm, as all of that was brewing up, we were preparing to put together a compilation to really more so launch Doggy Style Records. You know what I mean?
Was y'all
and then
signed
from
to Doggy
there,
Style
the
or
plan
Death Row?
was to go. I was signed to Doggy Style Records.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's always, I always get that. But you know, it was you know, not everything is history and public records. You could really kind of look at it for what it was. You know, Snoop Dogg was signed to Death Row, so whoever Snoop signed was signed to Death Row. You know
that's
what I mean?
why I look. That's how people look at it. That's why I asked you, because
now Suge didn't make our decisions. He didn't make our decisions, but he made Snoop's decisions. You see what I'm saying? So it was what it was. You know.
So when did the group was just like, we're gonna break up, and everybody went their own ways?
You know, I don't think it was ever a breakup, you know, and I'm glad to even be here to even speak up on these things, because you got to look at, you know, if something drops from the public eye, people assume all that broke up. Me, Lil Style, Badazz, we chill, did music. We, you know, throughout the years, everybody, you know, was family, you know, still. We just wasn't on that mainstream platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just let me put that on record to say it's LBC Crew for life. You know what I'm saying? It's not a breakup. Now, we weren't able to release music based on, you know, politics and paperwork and all of that. And mind you, again, take into account the time frame of when we were launching, when we were on the runway to take off. Then the whole damn big ass explosion in the world, East Coast, West Coast, you know what I mean? It just went crazy. So hip hop itself had to undergo a reconstruction period. And in doing so, if you look at it historically, you'll see it was the founding fathers of what we know as West Coast hip hop today that had to really take that load throughout those times. On the mainstream platform is what I want to specify. But as far as on the streets, you know, it was crazy because after that, what it also did was cause the divide divide and conquer. You know what I mean? And just from the Biggie Tupac thing, and it's been divided for a long, long time, bro. Like since that, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got your unification groups, people then clicked up here and there, but as far as in a whole, like it had to rebuild. I think it's to the point right now where, you know, it's ready to start, you know, seeing all of the new talent, all of the legendary talent that's kind of been something that felt like, oh, they didn't broke up, they didn't went away. It's like, nah, you gotta think the industry is a machine. You know, now we're just now at the point where me and you could talk face to face from however miles away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or would this interview happen, I had to hop on a flight and come chill with y'all. Which we might have to get down one day, man. We might have to make that happen. You know what I mean? But just the evolution of time is now, man. It's ripe. It's a beautiful time for to look all of the MCs and producers and everybody that's here that people thought went away. A lot of these guys are still here and they're still like super raw, super dope, like super, you know. So it's just now we gotta rebuild that. We gotta tap back into that and build that thing up. But LBC Crew, to go back to it, is very much so alive and well. Long live Badazz. I want y'all to know that we do have a crazy project that, you know, it's just been about timing and making sure that it's a good look to be presented. And it's a legendary piece, and it's a mixture of like years of material. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's kind of has like a nostalgia to it because it doesn't have a time frame on it. It's just like dope music, you know? So shout
I
out
had
to
a
everybody
relationship with
who,
Badazz. Badazz was the homie. So, you know, I
yeah,
talked to him a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he kind of told me, because I always would be like, man, why don't you and Tech do an album together? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I was just speaking from a fan, because I'm like, bro, I just think y'all two together just would make a great album, you know what I'm saying? So, but no, he
I
did
appreciate that, man.
always
I was
working.
that, hey, that was my, he used to tell me, man, like, man, Tech, man, you my only rap partner, man. Like, you my only rap partner. Like, he used to tell me that, you know, Badazz was wild like that. But I appreciate it even more, you know, when they not around you to tell you. But man, dude, man, it was nothing. Hey, I'm gonna be at the studio. I'm gonna pull up. He hears something he like, he on it. I hear something I like, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? And we just, you know, we got down like that. So it's all love, man. We're gonna be keeping that alive and bringing some dope material, man. It actually, you know what I'm saying, teared me up a few times, bro. Just being in a lab and pulling up, you know how you pull up the individual vocals and all that,
Right?
and hear bro talking like, damn, I ain't heard this song in years, but like, yo, that's my bro, alive and well, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing to the fans once they hear, you know, a fresh Badazz, man. He left a lot of great material for his fans.
Man,
So we're gonna
I know. Yeah, he was like, no, I'm working. I was like, bro, I believe you, bro. Like, is
yeah,
Daz
it's
doing
coming,
any
man. It's
production?
coming. I definitely want to you know, do my Keep Hope Alive. It's coming. It's coming for all who, you know, could hear me.
We're looking forward to it, definitely.
No, I'm going hard copy, going it all. So, is Daz doing any beats on it? Daz one of my favorite producers out of the West Coast. So, is he doing any beats on your stuff?
You know what? I can't say that we have any Daz records on album. However, I'm sure that he has some that probably could go on the album. So, you know, DAZ, if you listening, man, go ahead and kick over a few of them jams you holding on to, man. Yeah.
Are y'all still cool with the Dog Pound? You still keep a relationship with any of them?
I mean, it's all love, man. You know, we grew together, man. That's always going to be the foundation. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be times when, you know, grown men don't see things eye to eye in certain scenarios or whatever the case may be, and everybody's entitled to move how they move. But you know, it ain't no issues with me, man. We all brothers out here trying to really get it, you know. So that's how we gonna keep it, man. And for a long time, it, you know, sometimes you got that when things kind of stop abruptly, you know what I mean? You never know what the forces are behind it, but it tends to put kind of like a negative on the situations. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? But when you look at it and see everyone as what we've accomplished and been able to grow from, you know, I say and I quote, man, the bullshit ain't nothing.
Right.
Straight up.
You brought up Pop. Do you have any stories? Because I know Badazz recorded a couple songs with Pop. Like, were you in any of those sessions?
I was in a session. I've been sharing this story. I was in a session when we did the Boom 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 record, and Snoop called Pac in and to listen to a few of the, you know, LBC Crew records, and I remember Pac jamming to him or whatever, and I remember when, you know, my part that came on a record that he was playing, and Pac was like, "Who that?" You know what I'm saying? Hey, so I gotta share that because yeah, Pac was like, "Who that?" Yeah, you know what I mean. But that was dope. But what was really dope was Pac went in on Boom Boom Boom, and I believe that he wrote 3 verses. Now this all happened in a span of 15, 20 minutes tops. Never seen nobody write that fast like that, bro. Like off the top, and I believe he spit 2 and picked 1. Left the session and went back into his other session and finished whatever he was working on, bro. Not to mention, he was probably filming movies and commercials and everything while that was going on.
What
Just
year
look
was
at
this?
look at the body of work that bro accomplished in that time, that last time that he was home.
Like 7 years after he passed or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
still got music that you haven't heard. I still got music. I got a song that I heard. I think I just started following one of the little pop pages, right? And it was a record, like a diss record. I'm like, yo, I never heard this. You know what I'm saying? You remember, like after he passed, they started like doing like the Machiavelli 2, 3, 4, and 5, like hella bootlegs started hitting the streets. Yep. I didn't even hear this record on none of them.
That's wild.
You said AZ was a good influence. How do you feel about the Firm album?
I like the Firm album.
It's like one of my favorite albums. So
yeah, I like the Firm
Nas will ever do that album together?
Huh?
You think AZ and Nas would ever do their album together?
They should, bro. Them dudes is dope together, man. I'm quite sure they got enough joints to do an album. We probably just haven't heard them yet.
Well, I mean, they did a reunion song on Nas's new album. I don't know if you heard that yet. Nas has a new album out. What's the name of the new album? Do you know? Disease or something. King's Disease.
Yeah.
They have a new Firm song on there. So
yeah, I checked a few of the the like more commercial records out. I haven't had a chance to really just sit down with it. I like to sit down with a meal or something, man, and vibe out to Nas. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I do.
Right. So, but now I look forward to hearing it. I'm quite sure that it's dope, man. I just seen a recent video on AZ, man, that was kind of dope too. So shout out to AZ.
He got a whole new solo album.
Yeah.
He got a new solo album. It's part 2 to the first album, I think it is. So yeah, he's working.
So
I be so stuck in certain eras, man. The Come Up, that's the most notable. If you haven't checked that out in a while, go check that one out, man.
Come Up.
But now, yeah, we back on it though. You know, for everybody that's listening, man, y'all make sure that y'all go check out all of the music that we got streaming, man. You know, we really moving from an organic approach, and all feedback is welcome. You know what I mean? It's no industry noise with this one. I want to go straight to my fans, bro. I want to know who actually function with Techniec. You know what I mean? Hey, if it's 400 of us, man, we gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? If it's a couple thousand, but I think we had a good starting place. There's gonna be like the process that I'm on with the music is I'm pretty much just getting all, like, at least the last 10 years worth of material, maybe even more than that. So we just cleaning out hard drives, like cataloging all of these projects, and we're gonna put them out, you know. So check out, you know, the records that's out.
Blacklist.
You know, Blacklist.
Yeah, and Blacklist 2. I was listening to Break Bread and Play Dead the other day.
Yes, sir.
Bro, that's a great mixtape, bro. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
Right. So after y'all separated and started doing solo things, what did you do? You went to Mac 10, or how did that happen?
Well, you know, as musicians, you never stop working. So we was working, just continued working. But then I did get a call from Mac 10's people, and you know, shout out to Big Wave. You know, he got in contact with my folks, and you know, he said that, you know, Mac 10 wanted to see what was up. So I was able to meet with Mac, and he was familiar with the work, and he let me know that he was starting up a new label, and that if I was down, man, let's go, you know, he would want me to go ahead and ride with it. And that was a cool opportunity, you know what I mean? Because one thing I could say, as I look back, I didn't know this at the time, but it was always dope being a part of building something. You know what I'm saying? That's bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? So with any brand that I've been attached to, it's been at its inception. You know, we created as a collective. It was teamwork on LBC Crew. You know, everyone came together as a collective. Hoop banging. Shout out to all my Inglewood guys, Compton, Chicago. Mac 10 was able to bring a dope team together. You know what I mean? So that was the start of that. You know what I mean? Actually being part of you know, building another dope, you know, pillar for the West Coast.
I mean, that's how I discovered you. I didn't discover you from LBC Crew. I discovered you from Mac 10. I'm a big Mac 10 fan. So I think the first song I heard was on the Thicker Than Water soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? And there was a solo song you had. I can't even remember the name of the song, but it was a song there. That's how I discovered you.
LB 2000.
Yeah, the LB 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what it was, like 98 or something like that. You know, he thought he was in the future with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shout out Binky Mac, man, on the production. I believe Bink produced that. Yo, LB 2000, man. I was just going through the rhyme book, man.
So what about this 18 and Over album? Did you ever put out songs from that, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, I just got asked this not too long ago, but so for the 18 and Over, a few notable records off the 18 and Over wound up on the Hood project, which was the record with Ice Cube, What You Gonna Do, and Payback. Those were two notable records that were slated to go on the 18 and Over project. So you know, that it's a few more in the archives, but that's probably the most we gonna get at the 18 and Over project. Yeah.
I mean, so how is it like being with all those legends like CJ Mack, MCA, Ice Cube? Because you did a lot of work with Who Bang. Like a lot of work.
Yes, sir. Man, shout out to all those guys, man. To me, man, it was all like, you know, just being a student, man. A lot of those dudes was like big brothers to me. You know what I'm saying? They represent a whole nother generation than I represent, but I was a part of their generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in certain cases, I might be like 10 years minor to, you know, a lot of the legends that was, but those were the guys that I was moving with.
Right.
Because I probably was a little growner than than the average bro. But it was dope, man. I learned a lot from those dudes, man, and I owe a lot to those dudes because you know, as I stand in my survival, is from a lot of the game and the seeds that they planted on me, you know, is as far as understanding how to maneuver out here. So, you know, man, shout out to all the Who Banging, man, Binky Mac, CJ Mac, you know, all from the I, Conrad's, Gangster, you know, even Dub C, you know, Dub C give me jewels every time I run across him. But anybody that, you know, Westside Connect, man, just being around all those guys, for me, being a younger head, I was able to pick up game and actually apply it to create a real structure for my own life, you know, and foundation, you know.
So being around all those legends, were you like just like a fly on the wall, or were you asking questions to get the game?
A little bit of both. You know,
it's like I
think, man, you 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, bro, you asking questions. You need to know. I probably was annoying as hell to some of them, you know, but for the most part, for the most part, you know, I was able to pay attention and also pick up from some mistakes that I was seeing, but also learning from what was actually winning. So any success that I do individually it's a result of coming from that school of thought. So shout out to those, man.
Hold on. Before we go further, we gotta go back. What was it like being on the movie set of Thin Line Between Love and Hate?
It was cool, man. You know, it was cool. I mean, you happy, but still on the same note, it's like, you know, again, like I don't even know if I was old enough to really appreciate it the way that you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I still wanted to do, I still was on young dude shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I wasn't really tripping. I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. Yo, that's where we here. Yeah, that's where we supposed to be. Like, you know, we them guys, you know.
Right, yeah, we made it.
You know what you supposed to think at, like, you know, 15, you know.
Was Martin and Bobby and everybody cool?
Cool, man, super cool. I never forget those interactions with those guys, man. Martin was, you know, came across real down to earth. Bobby was rocking with us, clowning around. In the times where like we run into each other during like the getting groomed, you know, you gotta get your hair cut and all that. So in that part, while we was getting ready for our scenes, but nah, it was cool, man. It was a real fun, chill, laid back environment. Everybody was just there, you know, and it came across clearly in the film. You know, it looked like, you know, everybody was enjoying themselves throughout. That was a fun movie. That the days that we was there to film our part, you know.
How many days did it take?
I couldn't tell you for the whole thing. I think we was there too,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So what was the last project for you with Who Bangin'? Was it the Hood album?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
that
know
was just
what?
like,
I'm not sure, but I remember it might be on the Ghetto, Gutter, and Grimy. It was a mixtape or something that Mac had put out after that. I think we did some work on there too.
okay. So what was the Hood? What was that? Something Mac threw y'all together or something?
The Hood was Mac's All-Star team
Right.
at the time. So you know what I mean?
That's what
Shout
I
out to
got
him
from
for that. For considering us, you know. Also Long Live Booby Soprano, you know, it's my guy. But it consists of Scoop Delana, uh YG Soprano, and Cube's younger brother, or I think it's like his brother-in-law. And they had their group, and then Mac and myself was on there. So it was a dope like compilation of music. Everybody got the, you know, that's one thing I credit Mac for. He showcased a lot of talent out here, you know, from both sides, you know, red or blue. He showcased a lot of talent and put a lot of dudes in a light to be recognized. You know what I mean?
So I was wondering, just noticing, you know, just talking to you and getting your vibe and everything, you seem real chill, like sure of yourself, all that. Like you've been through a lot. You still seem like you're still cool about it. I can just tell from you. So I guess what I want to know is what would you tell somebody coming up right now that's trying to get into the game and try to have longevity and keep their sanity and things like that? What's some advice you would give to some of these young
For me, you got to be in that. You got to look at the man in the mirror. You know, we got to take accountability for everything that come along with that. You know, and that's not the easiest thing to do. Um, a lot of times it's easy to blame others for this or that or whatever. But the one thing that I learned was to do for self. And you know, I knew the concept, but I didn't understand the importance of that concept until I came into the teachings of Islam. But to do for self and understanding like what jihad is, go to war with yourself. You know, that's what I loved about like Nip. He put everything, whether good, bad, or indifferent, he had to put it out there to the universe as he was working on himself. You know what I mean? But as an artist, that's our therapy. If you think about it, I don't care what kind of artist you are. If you paint pictures, if you draw, if you spray paint, whatever kind of artist, if you rap, dance, sing, whatever the case is, you that's the therapy. Whatever's going on within you, you allow it to manifest, you know, outwardly. So you got to believe in yourself in this art form. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is once you go to start presenting it to the world, or you strive to operate on that big stage, it's going to be a lot of people knocking you down. Oh, this ain't good enough. It's good enough to who?
Right.
Let the people decide. You know what I'm saying? If my people that listen to my music get at me like, yo, check, that wasn't the one. You know what I mean? Now, at first, my first response gonna be like, man, get your hating ass out of here.
Yeah,
you know. But then, you know, once that part of the ego get out of the way, then I gotta explore that, especially if it's coming from multiple places. Then I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to recalibrate and readjust, you know, a little bit, because obviously, if multiple, these are people that claim that they got love for me, they ain't gonna steer me wrong. But if it's it, you know. So, but it's for that to decide. Like me at this particular point, I'm relying on the people to tell me like, yo, that was it. Or Kano, you know, I remember going, bro, it was a time I went and sat down in a record company, and I shared this story. And the A&R I was talking to, I can tell had no damn idea about nothing that had to do with hip hop. You know what I mean? However, this is the guy that's going to determine my fate or my, you know, my advancement to the next level, you know.
Right.
And there's no knock to anybody who went to school and this and that, but you know, this shit was built, not bought. You know what I mean? Like we came out the this is our real life.
Right.
This is really, you know, if you Google me, you're gonna see like my growing up, you're gonna hear the stories, good or bad, you know, whatever the case may be. It's an organic process. That's what makes the movie interesting. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But
yeah,
you gotta be able to endure beyond all of the, you know, the gatekeepers and all of the people who want to put your life and your fate in their hands. You know, I chose life over fame, if that makes sense.
Right.
we hear
You know
the
what I
same
mean?
stories too.
Like, bro, trust me, we hear this like
Everybody we talk to, we hear these industry stories, and it all aligns with the same kind of narrative. It's like they don't say it, but they want to. It's all the same. It's all.
Now it's all good though, cause see, the thing about it is, you know, I'm not one that's gonna sit here and say the industry is no bad thing, but it's not an emotional place to be.
nah.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can't come in there thinking humility. You know what I mean? You come in there, this shit is strictly business. And so we have to educate ourselves. We have to be knowledgeable of what we're walking into and not blinded by all the dreamy shit, you know, that come along that they sell you. You dig what I'm saying? It's real life work.
Were you with Mac still when him and Cube was going through their little problems?
No, I think our tenure was up as far as like the business. Because you know, it went through a phase where I believe, you know, priority was capital.
Right.
You see what I mean? And once that happened, during that whole transition, I used to call it the corporate takeover. You know what I mean? Because it was like Motown over there prior to. You know what I mean? But during that whole shift, you know, everybody was just kind of like, you know, moving on their own thing and trying to get in position again. A lot is this is a reconstruction period. We still in that, even if it's like 5, 6, 7 years down the line, you know, it was still a lot of adjustments that was going on. So I wasn't there, just to answer that question.
Are you trying to get into more movies?
I'm working on writing movies. We're working on, you know, manifesting some of our classic pieces into into film, documentary, more in that lane. So if it come up to advance over into something, you know, with a much larger budget line of the millions, then you know,
Right.
we willing to entertain it, you know, turn that down. But we definitely interested in just grassroots, just really a large part of my focus just as an MC is in coming up in this game is giving the guys who come to me the information and the tools for them to establish themselves before taking that jump. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's discouraging, you know, because like, hey, Tech, man, what's up? Let's woo, woo, woo. And it's like, all right, well, do you got this? Do you got that? Do you know, is your name yours? Have you, you know, you at least got a DBA? Do you got?
That sound like this thing.
I'm manager artist, bro.
That sounds just
so
like
I have to deal with this constantly. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
everything you just said. Like I hear this every like, so I feel you. We feel you on that.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm just like, you know, some guys who ain't. And the thing is, like I said, I'm probably here standing to this day because I got real information from real individuals. You know what I mean? And they didn't lead me astray. Some did. I ain't gonna front. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe a few times, bro. I ain't gonna front. We all done came under it. However, I got more good than bad information as far as like, you know, how the game go, you know. So I try to just get that to the young guy, like, yo, do as much as you possibly can independently. Yeah. Establish yourself and your self-worth. And then, you know, you got something to negotiate. Otherwise, it's coming to the table and taking whatever somebody got to offer you.
Taking the scraps.
Yeah, so
then you don't have
just good game, man. You know, we're gonna keep it all the way a buck.
Right. You got a favorite Badazz album?
What's that?
I said, do you got one?
The first one.
The first one, Word on the Streets. Classic.
Word on the Streets.
Yeah,
you know, my little bro, his I think he say personal business was hitting harder. And I don't know if me and Bad ever really had the conversation on it, but I think just that energy that came out of that Word on the Streets was just so, it's my time, I'm here, you know. That was his marker right there.
It was raw. Personal business felt more of heavy hitters. Like he had the heavy hitters behind him on personal business.
Right.
No, but no, Word on the Streets was that shit was raw. Like I like that shit.
Yes, sir. Word on the Streets.
So where did you go after Who Banging? Was it the game? Or did you do your own thing and then you ended up with the game?
Where I go after, I went home after Who Bang. Yeah, man, I was kind of good, man. After that, that was coming in. Now you gotta say, you know, I'm in my 20s at this point. So I think I was kind of cool at the time. I had kind of like, I've been dealing with some other different personal matters that you know, I believe the rap game was kind of keeping me away from. And it was some when I turned 21, my father went to the feds. So then that means I gotta kind of step up, you know what I'm saying? And actually, if I thought I was a man, now we about to see, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was kind of like my 21 year graduation into manhood, you know what I'm saying? Most was graduating from college, man. I was trying to figure out how to hold my family down and my little sisters and be there for my grandma and, you know, everybody, my son, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of necessary growing pains that was going on during that time. So I was kind of out of the loop for a minute to maybe around like a couple years later, I get a call from some folks from like ASCAP or somewhere. And they like, yo, you know, you heard of a rapper named The Game? I'm like, you know, at the time, I can't say that I really had, you know what I mean? as we start getting into it more so, because I didn't understand the moniker of the game, but then as we start getting into the storyline, I understood who his brother was, and you know, and that. So once we put it on that level, then we were able to get a clear understanding for it. But yeah, when I spoke to him, man, I met him at the studio. We wound up cutting the record the first time that I linked up with him. You know what I mean? And then from there, he hit me on some, I remember bro hit me on some stuff like, hey bro, look, man, I'm on a mission right now. I'm working with Dre, blah, blah, blah. I got the situation, Black Wall Street. We'll both be like, look, if you ain't got a situation by the time I get everything going on, man, come fuck with me, you know? End quote, you know what I mean? So he actually reached out once, you know, I think like during the G Unit situation, and then after the G Unit, I mean, during the G Unit, then towards the end, he started, you know, getting more into the, we all know what was going on, like publicly.
Right.
But he was a man of his word nonetheless. At that particular time, he reached back like, yo, bro, what you doing? Before you know it, then we was on the How the West Was Won tour, and then, you know, we was figuring it out, but we were figuring it out on the go. You know what I'm saying? You all in Europe, still trying to, you know, still working, getting the situation together. So that was a dope journey. But again, another situation to where we were putting together something organic and building something to be a pillar for the West Coast that was also unified. Mind you, every last one of the situations or like business situations that we were in industry wise, from my perspective, coming from Long Beach, and with my pops and my uncles and everybody that was in support, we were unifying, whether it be the hoods in Long Beach, with the hoods in Compton. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was the front. That was what was to be put out there. You know what I mean? That we were building something that we were going to bring brothers together, you know, and I'm going to just keep it a buck. Our kind, Black people, bring them together, you know, despite whatever our differences is. So let history show any like Amar fans or anybody who's been rocking with me, pay attention to that. Any situation Technique been in has been a unifying situation. It was Bloods, Crips involved. It was Long Beach, Compton, LA, Inglewood, Linwood. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we represent, even to this day. You know, we represent the unification of that. There's always going to be, you know, side shows and different things going on, but the strength is in that unity. You know what I mean?
Do you feel optimistic about the unity, or do you feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be done?
I feel like oil and water are never mix.
Facts.
Just to put it simple, you know what I mean?
Right.
To put it simple,
Totally get it.
Yeah, okay.
you know, and that's just that, you know what I mean? Two things are the reason why we be feeling the turbulence, because we understand that, you know, two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. So it's always going to be, you know, that, but to strive to have that balance, I think that we could curve.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
So did you record an album for Black Wall Street at all?
Nah. We recorded. We just, you know, we recorded, but it was a lot of mixtape. We did a lot of mixtape work. It was just a lot of bar work. We did writing, you know, a lot of the times when I was there, you got to think, you know, this is at the peak of the game. Like this is when the rocket ship is shooting up. So all the energy and all of the force was going towards that. I was around, we were working on what was the second album? I believe it was the LAX album, was it?
I think it's LAX, something like that.
No, Doctor's Advocate.
Doctor's Advocate.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't around for LAX, but the Doctor's Advocate. We spent a lot of time on that, and it was dope too, because even as a student of the art, just seeing bro in that position, I was able to sit back and kind of pay attention to how it, you know, how that part of the game went. the process of putting records together. You know, we talking about an MC. I come out of ciphers and schoolyards and parks, and after the club, we wasn't going in. We wait for we got to wait for them to get out. We gonna go ahead and have our concert right here.
Right. So, you got any stories of Dre?
Not really. I think I met him. I met Dre. Gamma invited me to the studio and I met him, you know, and I was able to kind of sit in on a session while they were working on his album, you know, some records for his album. Busta Rhymes was in the building, and it was peace, but you know, it was just watching a man at work. You know what I'm saying?
Because it looks full circle, because you gotta think you was with Snoop, and then you come all the way back around. You write with Dre, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's how Long Beach I am. Look, and I say that because of this, right? My whole time frame on the like the Death Row, like I said, we was with Doggy Style, LBC. We came from Big C Style, 19th Street Records. Like that was our circle. So like if I would see like a Sugar, a Dre, it's in passing. Those guys were like up here, you know what I'm saying? Right. We the little guys coming in, we ain't even made a name for ourselves yet. You dig what I'm saying? We just now, so like when by the time like when Beware My Crew hit, boom, and you start hearing it, you know, in the different areas and regions, then we lose Pop. You know what I mean? This is a real life timeline.
Right.
So you never know with the, and not only that, hold on. Before that, Dre leaves Death Row.
Yep.
So Dre leaves after Pac, and then all of this is happening within like the same year.
Snoop left.
Snoop left what? Snoop left what? 97.
Yeah. Right after that. Yeah.
No, I think he was already gone.
Oh, was he?
Oh.
Damn.
Listen, look, I think Illuminati.
Yep.
To Live and Die in LA, all those records was, you see what I'm saying? That's 96, right? 96, 97. Oh, but these were being done while Pac was, you know, Dre was, I don't think Dre was around during that time. During that process. And then the aftermath, you see what I'm saying? Right. And that was that's all the reconstruction right there.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you something about something you talked about earlier about AZ and some of the East Coast artists that you listen to. Being from the West Coast, especially in that era, we also talked about that as well. Did you have any conflict or anything like that? Did people get onto you for liking that type of music, the East Coast, or were you just like,
man, I was so West Coast that wasn't getting questioned, bro. Like I'll pull up, I'm pulling up bumping AZ in a Monte Carlo, bro, or El Camino, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we riding different, you know, we riding on our West Coast tip, but we listening to everything. You know, you can't be an artist and not listen to everybody, man.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's just like an athlete. Like, you know, a basketball player gonna sit up and watch all of the players in the league. They gonna pay attention to everything. So why wouldn't I pay attention and listen to everything? I used to trip off of that. They're like, yo, yourself, son. Like, you know, he sounds too East Coast. He sounds too hip hop or this and that. Like, man, just put me on a West Coast beat. It'll be all right.
Right. Yeah. They'll know.
You know what I'm saying? You ever make have plans to make a record with AZ?
That'd be dope, man. You know, these dudes is already, you know, legendary status, man. If they want to, you know, come on the court to play with the youngsters, man. Come on, you know. But just because you said that, I'm gonna cook up something with him in mind. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can get it to stick, man. Shout out to AZ, man.
So when was it that you and Game went your separate ways then? What year was that?
what was it like? I don't know, what you say, 07, 06, 07? Something like that.
That's still a while ago. You do know it's 2021 now, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
a long luxury
That's what
career,
I'm
bro.
thinking,
Like,
man. It's like, wow.
Nah, like, but see, the thing is, this is the thing, bro. We all from LA. Like, you'll see brothers, man, and you see people in passing, it's like, oh, there go gang. Oh, there go, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we haven't worked together in some time, but you know, we've crossed paths, you know, on multiple occasions, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, during those times, I wasn't an artist. I mean, I wasn't dealing on that level, you know. We met in the streets, you know what I'm saying, with the brother, with the FOI, and you know, community situations to where, you know, we interacting in the cities, you know, to bring forth unity. So, you know, just being there with brother Tony Muhammad, and you know, other very influential figures in the community throughout LA. We you know, come in contact like that. So I'm being a student to something completely, you know,
right.
a whole nother level of life, you know, just a life student. And to even to, you know, encounter these type of individuals outside of that capacity, to where it's like, yo, Tech, I'm like, what's good, bro? You know, but I'm not here, you know, on no rapping or nothing like that. You know, we really here just for the benefit of the collective, of
Right.
just unifying Black people and trying to curb some of the destruction that we, you know, we cause amongst each other. So those were the premises that we encountered on.
So was you around any of the G Unit beef or anything?
Oh, definitely. My dad always told me this, man, you know, don't, if you get in a car with somebody, whatever they get into, you in it too.
Man, that's so true.
It is.
That shit true. For real.
Right
Been
up.
there before.
So, you know, if you're not gonna sock the homie standing next to me, and I'm not gonna fight, like we
Right.
all gonna get into it. But you know, from my perspective, and I think, you know, that's one of the things that I look back on. I'm like, man, we probably could have dealt with that a little bit different, just in my maturity now. But at the time, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like I've been like a lyrical representative for the West Coast, you know, when it came down to especially lyrical, like combat, like, oh, that's what we do, let's go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's when I learned, like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna get a platinum plaque or a life sentence off of this move. That's the one time where it's
Wide
like,
range.
yo, this
Yeah,
is
That's a real wide range right there.
I don't think I left the streets to try to get into a music industry to have to deal with the same shit I'm dealing with out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the only thing, because it kind of got in the way of a good business being done. You know what I mean?
True.
But nonetheless, it's historical. It is what it is.
So out of everybody, who was your favorite CEO? Snoop, Mac, Gavin? Who was your favorite?
You know what I want to say, man? And I'm gonna say this just for clarity. These were all artists that you named. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about best CEO, understand these were artists first, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm glad you're saying this, because I try to express this a lot to people. Like, you can't really, I try to tell them not to sign to somebody who's an artist as well. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah, and
I
never signed I didn't sign to Black Wall Street. I might as well have, but I wasn't signed to Black Wall Street. We didn't get that far.
Okay.
But the I would say I learned the most. Actually, I learned a lot from all these guys, bro. I can't even front, you know what I mean? But you know, it was certain things like from Mac that I learned that was real unique. You know, he gave me game on how to really maneuver to get your bag. You know what I'm saying? Snoop showed me what it takes to be a superstar and what you got to deal with to compete at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? And Game, he showed me a revolutionized form of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think they're coming from the same teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? So I'm getting knowledge and, you know, just understanding through watching these guys perform, you know, in the capacity that they moved in. Enough to know that honestly, bro, I'm just Techniec, bro, from Long Beach. Wherever I go in this world, that's what I'm gonna be. That's what I'm gonna represent. And everything that comes along with that is what I offer to the world. It's not necessarily, you know, I need to, you know, be the I don't need to miss it. You know, like, you know what I mean? I got a few pieces, don't get me wrong. I shine when I want to, but I'm chilling, bro. You know what I mean? I just like I like to be able to create, man, and build with my people. That's it.
So
yeah.
So who are the L's?
Say what?
Who are the L's? The producers.
Who are the L's?
Yeah, who are they? Your Blacklist albums 1 and 2 is Techniec and the L's, right?
Yeah.
So what are they, like a group of producers, or what are they?
L's is one guy.
Really?
Yeah, that's why
like
that's L's is in it. He's in the picture with me. That's Techniec and L's. Yeah, nah. So look, even with that, the L's is short for loops melodic. You know what I mean? So whether ain't nobody gonna keep calling you loops melodic, man, your name L's. Nah, he actually told us to call him L's, so nah, it's all good. But so yeah, man, this dude is a composer of sorts. You know, very musical guy. From instruments, keyboards. There's a lot of live instrumentation on those projects. He's like I say, he's a conductor of sorts. So that's what you hear. And even on the first one, you'll hear the first Blacklist is so raw, like it has no mix. It's like just like it's just like we was gigging in a basement joint, like just getting it in. And how that project came about was we would literally just me and him go in the studio. It'll be just playing around with sounds. I'm catching the sounds that he's throwing out, see if I could find a pattern to his drums or whatever the flow pattern, and we was just building off of each other. So everything that you're hearing on those projects, a lot of it is just real raw, on the spot, unscripted. We just about to go in, you know. As you graduate to the second Blacklist, you'll notice that's a little bit more refined. You know what I mean? It's a symbolic. And I'm just speaking to the fans and those who've been rocking with it. It's symbolic to the growth. You know what I mean? From the first Blacklist to then, because this was a time where I had really no musical help or support. It was just us, like, yo, trying to figure it out. Let's come up with a sound. Let's figure out something that ain't nobody else doing right now. You know what I mean? So it was slept on because we wasn't riding the wave. We wasn't on the mainstream wave. We just locked in the studio and just came up with the material, you know? So those are real organic pieces, even on down to the artwork. You know, that day we hired a photographer, shout out to Matt Evans. We hired a photographer. We went all over LA. This dude followed us like the whole day, bro. Like 1,000 photos taken and all kind of. So that way, it's like, honestly, as much music as we have, the Blacklist could probably go on another 4 or 5 volumes.
Is that the plan?
I don't know. We'll see. You know, what I say is, you know, I believe so. I believe it's enough. We gathering enough data to go ahead and go with a Blacklist 3, because I see that the streams, everything is going up on that project. So shout out to everybody who's been streaming. continue to stream and you know, continue to download and buy the material, and then, you know, we'll go put some more out. Cause I mean, I know you guys know, bro, it's not cheap to make music and, you know, put music together.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Quality music.
You gotta, you know, and we do it for the love. So it's nothing, you know, any given month, we might come out a couple bands on just putting it together.
Right.
Then we got to put it into the marketplace. Once it get to the marketplace, man, y'all got to support that. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So
yeah.
What else is next for you?
Block Rebel this year, we expect to have a strong presence. As I mentioned, we're going to be releasing a lot of catalog over probably like the last decade up into even current. You know, we're still working. So now it's to the point where we're cataloging material and we're striving to release material a lot more frequent. A lot more visuals. We're doing filming, clothing, you know, just the natural things that artists need to survive anyway. But we're at capacity to where we could facilitate these things. So now, you know, God willing, we'll be able to go ahead and service our people throughout this year on a more frequent basis. Because you and I know, man, how fast this internet web world operates.
Right.
This shit fast.
You gotta drop an album every week. Hey, you gotta drop an album every week out here, man.
You do.
Yeah.
Hey, we come from the old school, man, where
Bro,
man, these dudes take 3-4 years to drop an album.
Right. This is what I tell them. I tell my artists, you know, you don't have to drop albums like that. You can, but I tell her, you know, make sure you drop visual. That way, a visual will be out every couple months or whatever for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As you're promoting that album. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I mean, we already got her next like 2 projects ready to go with the videos already. So I mean,
that part.
Yeah, so, I mean,
but you know, that's a beautiful thing that you say that, bro, because you know, the way this is something I'm talking to all my folks that's on the come up, you know what I mean? We got to start thinking like the machines. You know what I mean? Yeah. Plans are made 6 months, a year in advance.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like so much monkey see, monkey do. Oh, this person did this song, so I got to go in there and do this so I could get this. It's like, nah.
I don't do none of that.
Put your play together and follow your plan.
Right.
Follow your plan, because otherwise you're going to be moving to the beat of everybody else drum. You got to line it up. I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to myself too.
Right.
Hey, it's real shit though. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Brother Jason. He
like,
saying,
you always want to have a structured market plan, you know, especially like, do you have other artists on Block Rebel? Yeah.
Yes, and actually that's my goal. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to be able to work, you know, in a creative capacity with helping artists develop their projects. You know what I'm saying? Putting all of the key ingredients together to make sure that they got a solid project to present. You know, that's something that's necessary. When we were coming up, they had artist development. That isn't offered anymore. You know what I mean? They don't care what the hell you sound like. Long as you got some numbers, come on in. We'll go ahead and shoot this bullshit to the rest of the world.
When I realized that is when I saw Kodak Black on Breakfast Club with a ski mask on. And I was just like, so the label just gonna let him do this. Like, I was just like, yeah, that's a horrible representation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't, like, nah.
But you know, man, some of it be these guys, man. I mean, I don't know, you know, what's up with Yak. I watched Kodak, man, from like when he was a shorty, man. When I first seen dude, was like, so I kind of like locked in on that, like, you know, like, damn, this dude was a little kid, like really still. So True. As long as we know him, he's been doing what he's doing. And them dudes, you know, to my understanding, it's raw over there. So I don't know, you know, I can't speak on the ski mask and all of that, but I don't know who did it. But I know shit, that become the thing now, man.
Right.
Shit, he might have been on to something with the COVID. You know what I'm saying?
He was ahead of his time.
He was ahead of the curve, man.
So is your dad home or is he still in the feds?
Nah, he's on. Peace. Peace. Yeah, he been on since like 05. Yeah. Yeah, so we good.
Well, yeah, don't want to take too much more of your time. Let everybody know where they can find you, your website. Because I mean, I need a Black Rebel package too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
we're gonna need that.
Oh man, you already know. Give me the info. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. But yeah, you could definitely check me out at TECHNIEC. That's on all social platforms. TECHNIEC. Try and make it simple. Also check us out at blockrebel.com. So and it's also Block Rebel at Block Rebel on Instagram. So man, please check those out because we definitely trying to push those numbers up over at Block Rebel. You know, it's independent. And you know, but we definitely got some work for y'all this year, man. And we're striving to put together great presentations of the art for, you know, to last for some time. You know, it's gonna be a lot of jewels on these projects that we're dropping. I got work with a little bit of everybody, man. Over time, you'd be surprised the pair ups you gonna hear me with, you know. So yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to everybody who been streaming. We have been seeing the numbers increasing. So that means something, you know. If we put something up, man, do us a courtesy. All you gotta do for me is just go ahead and share it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And we'll work out the rest. But man, I definitely appreciate y'all having me on. You know what I'm saying? And taking the time and really actually, you know, been checking into your bro work. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't been, you know, the most on Front Street. You know, I kind of enjoy my life, man. And I got, you know, young sons that's growing into men and all that. So, but they even like, you know, need a reminder, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, like your pops could still, you know, could really get it in. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the floodgates, and hopefully we get the appreciation that it deserves.
All right, well, we thank you.
Thank
everybody.
You for your time.
It's Kinfolk The Plug.
Delvan Othello in the building.
We out. Thanks, Techniec.
I appreciate it, man. Oh.
I'm the plug. Yeah. I'm the plug. Yup.